Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is Well Red Beard. It is a damn fine day to talk about a book. And we're here for a book review. Today we are going to talk about The Revenant of Rebecca Pascal. This is by David Barker and W.H. Pugmire. And it's from Weird House Press. Now, I think it's my first read from either author. I know that Pugmire passed away in 2019. Barker and Pugmire had worked on, I'm going to speak not necessarily truth here, but I think they'd worked on three Lovecraftian stories together, and this is one of them. But there's an intro that kind of gives you the details there, and it was really interesting. The intro to this book was really interesting. So I just told you Lovecraftian horror. Again, Curtis Lawson hates when I say this. I'm not a huge fan, but this book was really, really good, like really good. And one thing that I really liked about it was like that the book felt old. And don't get me wrong, the language is not overbearing or too hard to understand, but I mean, it felt like it was taking place in the early 1900s, just based on the atmosphere and the characters and the setting, the mansion and everything. But then it would shock you out of that with like little things that happen. Like, for example, the first time that I did not think that this was an old story, early 1900s story, was like on page 18. A guy comes in and the term eBay is mentioned, and I was like, oh shit, that's kind of weird. It's like this weird marriage of an old feeling story in modern times. I don't know. So I'm gonna read the synopsis. Richard Pascal has inherited his aunt's fortune and house in Arkham, Massachusetts. Content with moving there and living a life of reading and relaxation. Hell yes. Sorry, that was me that said the hell yes. It wasn't actually part of the synopsis. His plans are soon put on hold when his aunt's ghost returns to reassemble her old cult. With its classic gothic overtones, The Revenant of Rebecca Pascal is a light read that will appeal to any fan of a well-crafted ghost story. Look, I really like this book. I'm going to give it 4 stars. And I did not expect to love this book. I mean, again, I'm going to dig back into Lovecraft, and I have read some, but not, when I was documenting the things that I read. But normally if you tell me something's Lovecraftian, I kind of go in a little bit hesitant, and I didn't need to here. Another thing, the cover, it's a good cover. I didn't love the cover, and some of these Weird House Press covers have been phenomenal looking. I didn't love this one. I don't know if it's just too green or what it was, but I say that because the interior art and the cover is by Erin Wells, and she also did the interior art. The interior art in this book is fabulous. I mean, I absolutely loved the interior art, and I'm going to waste a bunch of time here trying to show you some examples of it. But the interior art is just beautiful, and there are multiple full-page splashes or whatever. Love the interior art, which is funny because, like I said, I didn't dislike the cover. I just didn't, love the cover. So the interior art's great. Now the story, again, just it felt so old, but then it wasn't. So he inherits like $2 million in this mansion in Arkham, Massachusetts. Now Arkham is, I hate to say anything here because I'm not a Lovecraft scholar, and the guys that put these books out, they kind of are, maybe. The authors, but also I know Lawson's very steeped in Lovecraft, and Joshua Rex and the people that put out books at Weird House Press. But Arkham is Lovecraft's fictional town, right? A lot of his stories took place there. This also has the element of Magog, which is one of the great old ones. I know Magog, has biblical ties, like back to Genesis. But then also is Gog and Magog are the great old ones or whatever from the Lovecraft mythos, along with Cthulhu and all that. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, but all that other stuff. So it had that element too. So it had these Lovecraft elements, but and while I don't know, again, it was just enjoyable. So I don't know if I want to say that those things weren't overbearing, or if it was just really well done, or what it was. But yeah, so definitely Lovecraft tones. So he inherits this mansion in Arkham, Massachusetts, like $2 million. Like one of the first things we learn is his aunt had this just gorgeous, extensive library. Just all kinds of books, just loads and loads of books. And our main character, he's aging, but he's not too old, and I don't know exactly where to place him age wise, but I don't know, 40s maybe, maybe older, maybe younger, I don't know, but he's coming to this windfall, and he's kind of got the idea that I'm just gonna go read for the rest of my life. Plenty of titles, plenty of books to tide me over for the rest of my existence here. And for me, that was cool. That was refreshing. I liked that. But again, on page 18, there's some of the, this one local guy is shown a mad interest in Ant's books, and I don't really need them all. There's some stuff here I don't want or need or can get rid of, and I also want to clear a little bit of space for some of my own books, and so he comes in and buys some books, but he's talking about selling them on eBay. And that's when the very first time that I was like, oh shit, this is like a modern story. But really the guy's interested in Ant's rumored secret occult library. Rebecca's rumored to be this cult leader, and this this priestess, almost this witch, and there's rumored that somewhere in this house is a hidden room behind a hidden door in one of the closets that has that is where they practice their rituals, and it's full of these super rare occult titles, these super rare books. And so Rebecca Pascal was famous. She was an actress, she was a poet, and there's like this local pub where they do like these poetry readings and stuff, and he goes there, and he meets this young girl, and she's homeless, and she's in rags, but he's kind of got this attraction to her, and finds out that she lives out in the graveyard, right? Like she sleeps out in the graveyard, and it says right here on the back that his aunt's ghost returns. His aunt's like a revenant, some sort of a revenant type of horror magic going on there, where she has inhabited the body of this young poet, and it just sets up this this story of her completing her mission after life, completing her mission of pulling the old band back together, of pulling this cult back together, and actually invoking this powerful great old one, Magog. And like all that stuff, like invoking things that are larger than life, things that are a lot of that Lovecraftian stuff is like unfathomable is the word I would use. Normally that stuff is like a turnoff for me, and here it just wasn't. So it's got a it's got really, really great build up to this event that's coming. So our main character Richard doesn't get to sit around and read as much as he wants to. He's kind of thrown into this weird scenario in this weird historically haunted town of Arkham, and it's just fun all the way through. And they call it a light read here. I wouldn't have called it a light read, but I'm not that bright. But anyway, it's just really enjoyable, more so than I ever expected. I'm giving it 4 stars. This is The Revenant of Rebecca Pascal, again by David Barker and W.H. Pugmire, from the fabulous, absolutely fabulous Weird House Press, and this is a signed and limited paperback. It's limited to 100 copies. I think they still got some out there available. Go check it out. Yeah, definitely worth your time. Fun, enjoyable, Lovecraftian read, and I don't often get to say all those words together from my personal preferences. But yeah, this is Well Read Beard. That's my review. I hope you liked it. I hope you're enjoying all your books, all of them, as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.